So then, today I'm doing a bit of al fresco PC building. As you can see, I'm in the garden on the bench outside, changing out my 2550K, which you might be able to see in a minute when it focuses, or not. There we go, 2550K, which is what I usually run. I have a 2600K as well, but I don't use that as often. And I'm switching it out for this, which I've just bought off Overclockers UK for £60, which is a 2500K. So I'm going to bench this and see how well it does. I've just dusted it off and cleaned out my heatsink with a bit of water, so it's looking nice and shiny and new now. Nice and reflective there. Yeah. There's the fan, which I've dusted off both sides that I was exceptionally dusty. Front of my case, I haven't got the fan filter on there, but cleaned all the dust off that. Got my Superflower power supply there. Keep it fan up because it's mostly passive, even running dual GTX 970s. So fan doesn't need to really go down. So yeah, I'll come back when this heatsink's dry because it's still got a bit of water in it, and hopefully you'll see the results. Right then, the first thing I'm going to do is remove the CPU from the socket, obviously. I'm going to lift that off to the side. Put the new CPU in the correct way around, always helps. And there we go. Press the lever down. It's a bit tricky when you have the heatsink mounting on, but I've managed to do it. Now that's done. Right, next I'm going to put some Thermal Grizzly thermal paste on the CPU, because although I'm not using my phase cooler on this, it's always good to have the best possible results on air cooling. I mainly just use air cooling for testing purposes now, just to make sure the CPU works. It's usually a bit quicker than insulating all of the board. Also, this is my main rig, so I use this on a daily basis as well. So, right, so I've got the thermal paste there. I'm going to put a dot in the middle of the CPU. Don't bother using the spreader, although this Thermal Grizzly does come with an included spreader. If you like to spread your thermal paste, I just put a blob in the middle and then let the heatsink do the rest of the work. Just grabbing the heatsink, which is now dry, hopefully. Otherwise, it's not going to end well. Just put that on there like that. We need to move the camera back a bit here. You can see the full thing. I'm not sure whether I can hold it there, so we'll have to do a bit of handheld here. There it is. Looking all nice. Just need to screw it in, so I'll probably edit here. Right, I've screwed the heatsink in, as you can see now. That's good. Right, so I've got to put the fan in next. So I'm just going to put the camera back here for a second in this corner of the case, which makes quite a nice little stand. Oh, that's a good angle, actually. If I do say so myself. I only use one fan, as these fans are the quietest fans, as this is the SB Extreme Silver Arrow. So these fans can go up to 2,350 RPM, I think it is, and move about 150 cubic feet a minute of air. I'll just plug that into the fan header. Then I don't use the fan clips included, I use these paper clips, and what I do is I just shove them through the in between the fins in the heatsink, push this down as far as it will go, and basically these holes here will have the bit of wire going through them, and I put these above the heat pipes at the top and the bottom so that when the case is the correct way up, it doesn't fall out. So it's a bit trickier than using fan clips, but it's not actually too hard. Just thread it through with my fingers at the top there. Make sure if I push on it that it's not going to fall down. And I'll put the bottom one in, which is here. Nearly lost it. Make sure it's going through both holes and above the heat pipe so that it doesn't fall down when I press on it. That should do, that's nice and secure. My graphics cards I've left upstairs, so I'm going to go and get those now. Right, so here I've got my two gigabyte graphics cards, the 970 G1 Gamings, so quite a good buy really. As you can probably see when it focuses, or not, there we go, you can see there's quite a lot of dust under the fins, as these have been running folding at home 24/7 for probably about a month since I last cleaned it now, maybe a bit more. You can see in there as well, there's quite a lot of dust, so I'm going to clean these off. I'm just going to use some cotton buds, which probably isn't the best thing for this, but at least it will get the worst of the dust off. There's the second card there, pretty much same thing. I've got quite a nice back plate, giant PCB extension with the heatsink there at the end, 8 and a 6 pin, Windforce logo lights up blue. So I've got a black SLI bridge because those orange ones look awful, and I do have a Z77M power, so it did come with a black SLI bridge, which is nice. I've also got my dust filter for the front of my case there as well, so I'll show you the graphics cards when I've finished cleaning them. Right, so I've finished cleaning the cards. As you might be able to see if it focuses, there's a lot less dust in there now. I'll try and get underneath the fans if I can. There we go. It's not perfect, not 100%, but blown most of it out just with a bit of air. Got some cotton buds there which I wiped all the fans off with. Quite a lot of dirt on those, so hopefully they'll run a bit cooler now. Top one was getting up to 77 degrees today, which is the highest it's ever been actually, but it is quite hot. I think it was 26 degrees in my room when I came home, so it's to be expected. These gigabyte cards blow all of the air out the side. They can't blow any out of the back at all, due to them having no vents at all on the back. But they have got 3 display ports, dual DVI and HDMI, which is pretty good really. Good choice of ports there for whatever monitor you have. Personally I run a single 4K monitor, and then I have a 1080p monitor with a DVI and VGA, and also a VGA 1024 by 768 monitor just for benching. So I'm going to put these back in my rig now. So I'll try and do this on camera, and then if it doesn't work I'll just edit it in at the end, I suppose, with it finished. Right then, I think this is going to be quite a good angle to put them in. So I'm just going to put them in. I can't remember which one's the better one and which one's the worst one, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter because I'll only be doing folding at home mainly anyway. So it's a bit of a tight fit in the Shinobi. They only just fit lengthwise, probably got about maybe an inch of room to spare at the back when putting them in. Just push them in until they click. I've got my screwdriver and my screws. So I only put one screw in each card generally, because it's just easier to take them in and out then if I need to for any reason. That's one card in. Put the PCIe bracket there back in as well. I'll just do that one by hand quickly. And I'll put the second card in, which might block the view of the camera, but oh well. I'll move the camera when I've put it back in. This Z77M power has just a single slot between the cards, but with it being ATX it's actually quite good, because if this first PCI slot had two between them, then this would be right at the top, and with the Thermalright Silver Arrow heatsink being extra wide, much wider than a normal heatsink, it would interfere with any motherboard which has a PCI slot on the very top. And I've just dropped the screw in the graphics card, but a good job is that the screwdriver is magnetic. I failed again. Wow. I don't know whether you can even see that. No, you can't. That's good. There we go. It's got it in now. Took me a couple of attempts there. Right, so I'll show you what I mean with the spacing. So there's just a 1X slot down there, and as you can see, the PCI slot was in that top slot there, where that 1X slot is down there, then you'd have some clearance issues with this Thermalright Silver Arrow cooler, as it covers nearly the entire thing. I used to run a Wi-Fi card in there, and as you can see, it's quite close fit, but I use Ethernet now, so I don't need that anymore. So I'm just going to put the SLI bridge on. That's the SLI bridge on there. Right, now all I have to do is plug the power cables in. And I might put the camera back down for this again, to this angle. Whoops. Oh dear. There we go. That's much better. So I'll put this top one in first. The Super Flower has two 6+2 pin connectors that are daisy chained, but it's a 1300 watt unit, and so I don't think that's a problem, especially with these graphics cards anyway. They're quite low power. They're only about, I think, 160 or 170 watts TDP according to Gigabyte. So that's that one. Then the second one is down here. I've actually running split cables on the second one. I'm running two 6+2s that are wired separately. So that's one of them. And then the second one I'll just put in now. That's that one. I don't bother doing much cable management in my case. What I tend to do is just stick them all down the front there and push them down as much as I can, because I take stuff in and out of here so often that there isn't really much point. So all I need to do now is screw the front dust filter on, and then it should be good to fire up with the new 2500K in there. So yeah.